I'm going to step it up. Are y'all scared? X plus 2 minus square root of 5x minus 1 equals 1. All right. This one steps it up a little bit. So if you look at this one, y'all are honors kids, so that's why I'm making it this difficult, okay? You'll see stuff like this in pre-cal a lot, so we need to be ready for this. If we look at this one, I have 2 radicals, right? 2 square roots. Okay, well it says you have to get 1 square root by itself on one side, right? This is fine. We're solving, so the y becomes 0, right? This means if I put a square root 1 by itself, I have 2 sides. So I should be able to get each radical by itself by moving one of them to the other side, okay? I'm not 100% sure if you have some of these on your Delta Math, but if you do, you'll be fine. It's good for you to know how to do this. You'll have to do these in Math 3 and Honors Pre-Cal, so. All right, so now we have square root of x plus 2, and 0 plus anything is just going to be what we added. So this is the square root of 5x minus 1. So do you guys see how I just moved this over to the other side? We're solving, so the y value is 0. Okay, and now I do have a radical by itself on each side. That's fine, because once you get one radical by itself, the opposite of square rooting something is to square it. What you do to one side, you do to the other. And these actually end up being really easy because look at this. The square and the square root just cancel out. So you literally just have x plus 2 equals 5x minus 1. Not that bad, right? So now I'm going to solve for x. I need to get all of my x's on the same side. And I'm going to move this one because it's smaller and I don't like dealing with negatives. So I'm going to subtract this x over here. So that's 2 equals 4x minus 1. Okay, then I'm going to cover my x, add 1 to both sides. So this is 3 equals 4x. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And you should get x equals 3/4. If you're struggling with the solving, if it seems like I'm going kind of fast in this, just hop on Zoom with me and make sure that you feel good with what I did right here, okay? But you should get 3/4. I want you to check it in the calculator, but y'all can trust me because I already did it. This does work, okay? So when you put 3/4 in and you subtract these two, you will get 0. Sound good? All right, last example. I'm going to go to a new sheet. I'm going to step it up one more notch because I feel like we're ready. F of x equals Alright, so this is just like the one we just did. So again, we are solving, we're finding the x-intercept, which means the y value is just equal to 0. Okay, so now, same thing as we did in the last one, we have 2 square roots. So I need to move one of them over to the other side so I can get each one by itself, okay? So I'm going to move this one. Opposite of subtracting is to add this whole thing over to the other side. So now I have 4 square root of x minus 1, because before there was just a 0, equals 3 square root of 2x plus 2. Now, this one is a step up from what you saw in example 3. This is similar to stuff you'll see in Honors Math 3, okay? So look at this. Normally, we try to get the square root all the way by itself, but we can't do that here, and here's why. Some of you are saying, sure, we can divide the 4. Okay, well, just watch. If I divide the 4 here, those cancel, but then I have to divide it over here. And now not only do we have a 3, but we have 3/4. Okay? Now, some of you are like, well, that's fine, Miss Poole, because then you can divide the 3. Okay, but then over here we have 1/3, and over here we're going to have 1/4. That doesn't work. So if you have coefficients in front of the radicals, but there's a radical on both sides. You can't get rid of it. So watch what's going to happen. We're just going to skip to step 2. And I'm going to square both sides, okay? Now we know that the squaring cancels out the square root, but it doesn't cancel out the 4. So we're not just going to bring down 4, we're bringing down 4 squared, which is 16. Now the square root is gone, so now I just have 16 times x minus 1. Okay? Same thing over here. The squared cancels out the square root, but not the 3. So this is 3 squared, which is 9. The square root's gone, and I'm just left with the radicand, which is 2x plus 2. So from here, all you have to do is simplify and solve for x. And I say all you have to do because you should have seen stuff like this in Math 1. If you didn't, it's okay. Get on Zoom with me. I'll get you caught up. We're going to distribute on both sides. So this is 16x minus 16 equals 18x. Remember, when you distribute, you're multiplying. Y'all know that. Sorry, I'm in Math 1 world. 18x plus 18. Then I'm going to get my x's together. This one's smaller, so I'm going to move the 16x by subtracting over here. So this is negative 16 equals, that's 2x now, plus 18. Just bringing those two down. Cover your x. The 2 goes with it because they're touching. Subtract 18. Subtract 18. So this is negative 34 equals 2x. Which means when I divide by 2, my x-intercept here is going to be negative 17. Okay? And if you do, I'm thinking, I don't think this one works. I want you guys to check it, see if it'll work. If it doesn't work, this is what you write. I want you to do it. Yes, you can do it. You'll be fine. If it ends up not being true, y'all know this, there's no solution, right? Okay? So you guys check that. That's all I have for you. Get on Zoom if you need my help. Your homework is that Delta Math assignment. I don't think there's any. This should be ready. All right?